वेलकम टू अवर टॉक शो रूबरू। आई एम नेहा चौहान और आज हम एक ऐसी हस्ती से बात करेंगे जिन्होंने इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग में अपना सक्सेसफुल करियर बनाने के बाद अपने क्रिएटिव पैशन को फॉलो किया और एक नेशनल अवार्ड विनिंग फिल्म मेकर, ऑथर और सोशल चेंज मेकर बन गए। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट नन अदर देन ओपी श्रीवास्तव सर। आज हम उनसे उनकी जर्नी, उनकी किताबें और फिल्म मेकिंग के बारे में जानेंगे। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वेलकम यू सर।
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's such an honor to have you here, sir.
Thank
So my very first question to you is कि इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग से फिल्म मेकिंग में आना मतलब एक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जो हुआ है वो कैसे हुआ और ऐसा कोई मूवमेंट था जिसने इस आपके जो डिसीजन है इसको चेंज किया?
Well, investment banking was my profession, which happened when I was looking for a career to make money
Okay.
or start earning some livelihood. But the filmmaking was my passion, which was inculcated in me while I was growing up, watching Satyajit Ray or Minal Sen movies in a town called Lucknow. There used to be a famous theater in Lucknow called Mayfair, which is no longer working now. And I used to bunk classes to go and watch these kind of films. They were called art movies in those days, in the morning shows. And that is where I developed this desire and got inspired by these filmmakers to become a filmmaker one day. But as the career progressed and I did reasonably well in my career, I had this unsaid wish or unfulfilled wish within me to fulfill this dream of mine to become a filmmaker. So when I was nearing the end of my career, when I was in late 50s, I decided that I have to fulfill this dream of mine of becoming a filmmaker before I say goodbye to this Mother Earth. So I started reading about the filmmaking. I attended a lot of courses on filmmaking, and then I ventured into filmmaking.
Okay.
That's how I came into filmmaking.
And talking about your book, The Parallel Cinema, right? And today's the current trend is about ODT. So how do you think that would like balancing in that will help the in the cinema, your book, Parallel Cinema?
Okay, so the parallel cinema is a journey or is a period in the journey of Indian films which is unparalleled in the world. In the sense, that was the period between, say, early 90s, starting from mid 70s to mid 90s, right? That was the period when FTII was born. And filmmaking was becoming a science which was taught in the colleges, schools.
Okay.
Till then, the entire filmmaking was learned on the sets of various kinds of films which were being made. And people learned it by practicing it and by spending times on the sets of the films. But it was the first time in early 70s that Film and Television Institute was set up, and filmmaking became a subject to be taught under various disciplines like script writing or cinematography and sound design and so on.
Right.
So a lot of educated filmmakers came on the scene. They had the passion to make films, but they were not supported by big film financiers, and they were not supported by the Bollywood producers.
Right.
So they invented their own way of making films using limited resources, using outdoor shootings, using unknown stars of actors, and they made films which made which were made with passion and not with money. And these films are so remarkable, and they were loved by the people, and they came as a fresh wave of change in the Indian film industry. And that is why they are still remembered and respected.
Right.
This is the era when Indian films became internationally acclaimed. So that era is so precious, and there is so much to learn from these films that I decided to research and do a deep dive into what went into making these films. So the book is not about these films. The book is about the story behind the film. Who made this film, why he made this film, and how he made that film. Because there is a lot of struggle behind the scene which is not seen on the screen of these films.
Okay.
Okay.
And as you're talking about the films, and nowadays you have seen a lot of films that is criticized by the people because of some like story that line that is like regular love stories, more violence, and remaking of the films. So do you think this is good being a filmmaker?
See, today there is a dearth of new ideas in the film industry, right? Because we have been using the same cliched formulae
Right.
for generations, for years. And that is why there is a vacuum in terms of new creative ideas or the new sensitive and sensible films. And that is why this vacuum is getting filled by remaking of those legendary films.
Right.
Yeah. So that is what is happening today, because we don't have new films which are attracting the people to the theaters,
And also the new ideas.
new ideas, and that is why people are reinventing the old uh, films which were respected and which had made uh, good amount of business in the past.
Okay, so being an author, or your recent book about the branding mythology, so what is that about?
See, branding is nothing but storytelling,
Okay.
and I love storytelling, right? Branding is, in short, creating a narrative which inspires people, which affects the emotions and psychology of the people.
And how it's connected to the mythology?
Okay. So, what happens is that uh, if you look into the history, a lot of major brands, which you can call as uh, legendary brands, which are still respected and which are enduring for the past so many years, have their inspiration from mythology. Just to give you an example, not many people know the brand called Lakme, which is for all of us know Lakme,
For the makeup, makeup
the
product.
makeup brand, is inspired from the word or mythological figure named Lakshmi.
Okay.
Is the French derivative of Lakshmi,
Wow.
which is being used as a brand called Lakme. Similarly, there are so many brands, not only in India, but internationally, which have been inspired by mythological figures, what they call as the archetypes or the narratives or the symbols. For example, in India, Amul is probably one of the most respected brands. And do you know what is the inspiration behind this brand?
No.
The brand doesn't represent only milk, right? A brand called Amul is inspired by a movement, a cooperative movement. AMUL stands for Anand Milk Union Limited.
Wow.
It was a cooperative movement which was led by the farmers of Anand in Saurashtra, which created this business of selling milk. So when you talk about Amul, you don't even you just don't talk about milk as a product. You talk about a movement which was called by cooperative movement, and which is now in the new avatar. We all Indians love it, and we call it a Swadeshi movement. So Amul is a representation of a belief. It's a notion which is very, very close to Indian subconscious mind, and that is why it gets very popular, and it becomes a part of your belief system or value system.
Right. We have also made documentary The Dirty Sky, right? So how did you choose that specific theme? Because it's a very total, it's like a total different theme. So how did you get the idea? How did you get the inspiration?
Well, I'm a postgraduate in physics. Okay, so I have some interest in things like astrophysics, and it so happened that one day I read this story that the what they call as low Earth low Earth orbit, which is from 500 kilometers upward, is getting so congested that the collisions have started happening in that area. And these collisions are so dangerous. Not only they are polluting the ecosystem, but they are choking the entire pathway which leads to these orbits. And in the days to come, the number of fragments which the collisions are generating is going to be so great and so dense that we will not be able to sell even a single satellite in the orbit. Now the irony is that we all understand, we all know this is the factual situation, and we are still talking about going to the moon, going to the Mars, going to the Venus,
Right.
and making a commercial trip to the
Space,
universe and
right.
space. But nobody is willing to tell you what is behind all this.
True.
So I decided to let the world know that this is the kind of dangerous situation which is not being handled by any of the spacefaring nations. Nobody is willing to spend money, develop technology, or solve the legal problems to remove this junk or the debris which is clogging our orbits.
Right. And you have also talked about some sensitive issues like Alzheimer and the brain cancer as in storytelling. So how did you manage to convey these sensitive topics? Because it is a very, as I just told you that it is very sensitive. So how did you manage to storytell it?
So each film has got a story behind it. So the cancer film has a story that it is the actual event which happened with one of my close friends.
Okay.
So one day, after a gap of so many years, I happened to meet this childhood friend, and he narrates to me that how during last 3-4 years his entire family has struggled to save his wife from brain cancer. And their journey of this 4 years was so shattering emotionally, in terms of the commerce which is being used in the name of cancer treatment. It was so revealing for me to know the kind of exploitation which is being done in the name of cancer treatment in India. And I also came to know a lot of new methods
Hmm.
which are available for treating a cancer patient, like palliative care.
Hmm.
So all these discoveries compelled me to create a narrative, which I created in the form of a film, which is called A Few Days More.
Hmm. So, being a filmmaker, what tips and advice you would give to the new upcoming filmmakers about to to grab the attention of the audience, because they are shifting toward different platforms, to the OTT platforms. They are moving toward different Hollywood, and not the Bollywood relevance is actually being less day by day, because the movies are not that much hype, creating hype. So, what do you think about that?
See, you must understand, as I have written in my book also on branding and
Hmm.
mythology, that anything which comes from your heart
Hmm.
and anything which involves the audience or the consumer at the emotional and psychological level really connects. So, for example, a brand is not only a product. You're not, when you are creating a brand,
Hmm.
you are not only creating a product, you are creating a belief, you are creating a meaning, right?
Right.
And these meanings, if you can connect them by using mythology, which is again a part of Indian subconsciousness, it connects to all of us at a much deeper level. And that is how the brand becomes more enduring. And if you see, the
Hmm.
cover page of my book
Hmm.
has a turtle. The significance of that is that this turtle is taken from the Indian mythological event called Samudra Manthan.
Samudra Manthan. Hmm.
Samudra Manthan is an event in which the Devas and
And
Asuras were
fight for the Amrit.
churning
Hmm.
an ocean to get the
Uh,
nectar.
hmm.
And what was being churned? That was a mountain, right?
Hmm.
And that mountain was being churned, and the churning became so chaotic that mountain started sinking.
Hmm.
And at that point, Vishnu took the avatar of a
Turtle.
turtle
Hmm.
and gave the foundation, gave its back to stabilize the movement of the mountain.
Hmm.
So, turtle is nothing but a metaphor for something which gives stability, gives foundation,
Hmm.
gives strength,
Hmm.
gives endurance, gives resilience to a brand. So that is the inspiration for taking the turtle on the front page of the book on branding.
What a beautiful inspiration you took, sir.
Thank you.
Such an amazing thought. So, any message you want to give to the people who are stuck in a one career path and wanted to join a creative passion? They wanted to pursue their creative passion just like yours. So, what advice you would like to give them? Or what motivation you would like to give them?
See, the first thing is that whatever you do,
Hmm.
you must believe in that dictum that karmarne vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Do whatever you feel like doing, what inspires you, what comes from your heart,
Hmm.
right? Without being bothered about whether somebody is going to like it or is not going to like it. See, we all are different kinds of individuals.
Right.
There is no other OP Srivastava in this world. There is no other Neha in this world, right? So whatever I am creating and whatever I like will not be liked by so many people,
Right.
right? But still there would be people like OP Srivastava or maybe shades of O.P. Srivastava who will like that kind of work. So there is an audience for every story which you create. If that story is coming from your heart and my heart beat on the similar rhythm,
Right.
right? We are made of the same flesh and blood. We have the same dreams, we have the same inspiration, we have the same sensibilities. So if my sensibilities are honest, it will travel to you. You will be a receiver of that. So don't bother about being artificial about what you do. Do what you actually believe in and do it like the brand Nike does. Just do it. Don't think about consequences, right? You may not get everything in your first film, but that's the path to follow. Follow your heart's call. That's the motto.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving such an insightful session about your journey, filmmaking, and being an author. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will be back with another episode. Keep watching our talk show, Rubaroo.